Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and I thought this would make a fun discussion for a video to get some context on, because I noticed Reddit was kind of on fire with two different popular posts that are saying the exact opposite thing, because obviously we just had the big promotion with Ninja, lots of new players coming to the game, and we've got two different posts here. One says, basically stop telling new accounts to level Ninja before their starter, and here's why. And then there was another popular post that said, stop telling new accounts to max their starter champion over Ninja, and here's why. So I thought it'd be fun to go through this, and then we can kind of talk about which one is right, and I'll give you my context as well. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so let's hear them both out. First, we've got the case for someone who wants to level their starting champion first. So it says stop telling new accounts to level Ninja before their starter. So this person is in favor of leveling the starter first. For those of you who haven't had a new account in a long while, it's easy to forget what the early game is like, the resources you have available, and what you should be focusing on to progress your account the best way possible. For the sake of this conversation, let's assume you started Kale, which I would say probably 75% of people do. Although this advice is the same for any of the starters, but I will use Kale's kit and numbers. Kale with a 4.65 times attack on his AoE, which is 3-turn cooldown, even without books. It has a built-in 15% crit rate modifier, meaning you only need 85% crit built on him to achieve 100%. This is clutch for new players who will be using early game lifesteal set to achieve their stats. He can be built with accuracy to land poisons, or you can completely ignore accuracy and just focus on damage. Most of that's fair. A Ninja, a 3x attack on his AoE with a 75% chance to freeze and a 5-turn cooldown. This is strong crowd control, but will require you to build into accuracy to land. Will also require a full 100% crit rate to get full potential. The modifier is much weaker than Kale's AoE. That's mostly fair. That's not taking into consideration the crazy boss utility, though, because that ability is going to have its value change in how it functions versus bosses, and also not totally fair to use the weak multiplier because Ninja has a really good base attack, a lot higher than Kale's. I believe Ninja's is around 1500 and Kale's is around 1200, so a lot easier to scale up that multiplier, and also Ninja does stack more and more attack the longer the fight goes. So I get where they're going, but that's not giving full context. Kale, when you first start your account, the new faction crypt of your starter will be open for a period of time every day. I think it's a week. If you rush Kale and are playing the game enough, you can easily get Kale to 60 with full masteries before you even get Ninja from the 7-day login reward. Yeah, that's probably true. Allowing you to progress quickly through the Dark Elves faction and past the first boss when you begin farming epic forge materials. Ninja, no Shadowkin faction crypt currently. Okay, that's fair, but for early game players, I don't think the faction crypt is a massive deal in terms of this argument, but that's fair. That is true. Forge materials / faction wars is the single most important aspect of early game progression. Getting your hands on epic, or if you make it to stage 13, legendary forge materials to craft 4 and 5-star perception gear will allow you to bypass farming dungeons. For the bulk of the early game, you are making a massive waste of energy if you start gear farming any dungeon stage below level 10. I can agree with most of that. With enough perception gear, you can put off farming dragon until level 16, even spider. You'll want to farm at least one full tournament at level 10 and get some beginner accessories to tide you over until you can farm 13 or 16 later. I'd say most of that is fair to say. Kale is easy to book. You'll get enough books for him from missions and campaign rewards, etc. Kale's books give him bonus damage and more chance to land A3 poisons. He functions fine without books, but they're so easy to get early in the game that is a no-brainer for you to book your starter. That's fair. The game does a good job of giving you challenges and missions and stuff to help you get your starter champion booked. So I'd say that's fair. Ninja, you won't have enough books to book this champion until probably your 2nd or 3rd month playing. For free to play, I did a free-to-play account for 30 days, and I was pretty close to booking my my first legendary that I summoned. So I'd say 2 months is fair. I don't know about 3. I mean, it all depends. There's a little bit of it depends on the events that come in the game, and there's some things that kind of go on there, but that's mostly fair. And he is still great without books and should definitely be the second champion you max as a new player. He won't excel until mid-game when you have some levels in your Great Hall accuracy and can more easily gear him for the accuracy he needs. Well, they're kind of dinging Ninja for needing accuracy, but they're not dinging Kale for needing accuracy for the poison. So I think most of what they're saying is true, but they're scaling the lens here a little bit, I think. That being said, if you get lucky and pull another game-changing legendary champion before then, you should reassess the book situation and prioritize the other champion if it will make a better use of the books. Oh, yeah, that's true. If you pulled like a Sify or a Battle Khazar or something, that's insane for progression. Duchess, Mashalette, anything like that, Chris. Yeah, that's fair. Realistically, for most new players, you will have around 15 legendary books to use by the time you are 3 months into the game. Yeah, I'd say that's about accurate, give or take a little bit. It might be, I would say maybe like 12 to 16. So yeah, that's fair. Unless you are a spender and buying them. The best way in the game to get legendary tomes is Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. That's true. So if you get lucky and can put together an Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss team early, then it is 100% worth booking Ninja if he'll get you to that point. If not, I wouldn't bother spending books on him. He's fine without them. I think most of that paragraph was totally fair. Kale will be your campaign farmer's supplementary Clan Boss DBS, Faction Wars carry, and Arena Nuker in the early to mid game. He is easier to gear and has more damage. That's debatable. Easier to gear and has more damage is debatable. Ninja can definitely crank out damage. But maybe a booked Kale versus an unbooked Ninja. Eventually, you will be looking to get a replacement for him in each category. But he can stay on your Faction Wars teams right up until stage 21 when he has outlived his usefulness. Elsewhere, you could decide to put him in a stun set and swap his mastery for Fearsome Presence. He can get extra control in Faction Wars and Doom Tower secret rooms. In conclusion, definitely max your starter first. Ninja is a great champion, but he's not going to progress your account as quickly as the starter will. You have your starter to 60 before you even get Ninja from the login rewards. I've played through the early game on 4 different free-to-play accounts. On each of my referral accounts, I chose the starter and focused different areas of the game with my gems. I finished Arbiter in 76 days on my free-to-play account. That's extremely good if that's true. And I finished normal Doom Tower on day 77. That's also pretty solid. I just had our free-to-play competition and the world record for getting Arbiter, I want to say it was like 65 days or something. So doing it in 76 is definitely insane. And then, yeah, finishing the Doom Tower that early is good as well. I understand how to progress new accounts quickly and efficiently. Every account is different, as you will have different luck with pulls, etc. So the priorities will change based on that. But your starter will always be useful in some capacity, even if it's just a throwaway campaign farmer or arena nuker until you can pull or build a better one in the mid game. Even after then, they will find use in a stun set for Faction Wars, Doom Tower secret rooms eventually, and stuff that you get there. Okay, so they got a little bit redundant there, but yeah, okay, we'll have to get the context of the other counterpoint, but I think this was slightly biased, but mostly a well-written post, and I think it makes sense. So let's get the counter argument. For goodness sake, everyone, stop telling new accounts to max the starter over Ninja. So here we get the flip side. I see this every day, multiple times in the subreddit, where people keep advising new accounts to 6-star 8th or Kale, or even a lane before Ninja. This is terrible advice. Stop giving it. Okay, so this person's a little bit more forthright and blunt. Ninja can farm 12-3 brutal unbooked just as well as a booked starter in similar gear. That's mostly fair. Ninja will continue to be useful as an account grows. Starter champs fall off mid game. Can use a Kale in arena. Yes. Should you? No. I mean, you could argue, yeah, I mean, Kale's, like, with how farming the arena and gold works now and how they've kind of adjusted it, Kale's a pretty viable nuker. If you get good enough gear, as your gear gets better, Kale will mostly keep up. As long as you're going first, it's not really a problem using Kale. Pretty much any situation you would use a starter hero in the end game. If you put gear on any number of better epic or Lego nukers, you will see quicker results and better clears. That's fair. Like, obviously, if you get a Skull Crown or something, that's going to be a better nuker than a Kale. So that you are going to get legendaries and epics that will be better. But is it possible to nuke with Kale? Yeah, for the most part, for most players, it would be. Like, the gear is a big thing. The odds of this account pulling a better nuker relatively quickly are quite high. Given that nukers are in no short supply in the game. Yeah, that's a little overzealous, but fair. Food is the most important resource early in the account, and wasting your first 5-star food on a starter champ when you could be using it on a more useful champion will retain that will retain relevance. I get what they're saying there. The other person's argument was you have to wait a week until you get Ninja, so you're not really wasting because you can 6-star your starter champion on like day 3, 4, 5, whatever, and then you'll still be working towards the next 6-star already, so you don't have to really wait and sacrifice that progression until you get Ninja. So, okay. This is not just my opinion. I've spoken to streamers and other players about it, and content creators have said the same thing. I would like to think Deadwood Jedi knows what he's talking about. He absolutely does. Deadwood is one of the smartest people in the raid community, so I would tend to listen to Deadwood as well. I'm tired of arguing and getting downvoted, attempting to offer sound advice by a mob of people spouting the advice they got from Hell Hades when they made their account 6 months ago. Well, similar to Deadwood, Hades definitely knows what he's talking about. He's been around forever, and he's done a lot of amazing things, so I'm sure he gives 99% of the time good advice. A free Lego changes everything. Initial resources should be put into Ninja, a top-tier Lego with use in Doom Tower. Spending your chickens on a useless starter champion that won't even help much in Faction Wars is just bad advice. Being parroted and upvoted because everyone thinks new account 6-star Kale, duh, without factoring in how many free Lego changes the dynamics of a new account. I would say, like, I get where they're going. I don't necessarily agree. Like, you get a lot of value out of 6-starring your starter. You're gonna use them for a long time in many different teams. So I would maybe get their argument more if books were a universal resource and you could only book Kale or Ninja. You could only put books into one of them, or something like that, but they use completely different books. In terms of like the XP and the 6-starring, I don't know if I'm on board. I think you get a lot of value out of 6-starring your starter. It is bad advice. Everyone is offering it. There's nothing a starter champ will do better or help more than Ninja. Well, Kale will be better in the Dark Elves faction keep than Ninja. But no, I'm kidding. That's mostly right. Later on down the road, yeah, Ninja's a pretty solid damage dealer for sure, and a starter champion isn't really going to keep up in most situations down the road. But they do say even Faction Wars Shadowkin isn't out yet. But when it is, he's going to be very strong against the boss. How many people are clearing Faction Wars 21 with starter champs? I don't understand the logic behind the insistence that a starter champ must be leveled first during the Ninja event. Once the free Lego event is over, we go back to Max Kale first, spamming, but for now the device is just bad. Then they have a couple edits here, getting kind of upset. Obviously, people are going to disagree with you when you post something on forums, so we don't have to go over the edits, but they're there on screen if you want to read them. But okay, so what do I think in terms of new accounts now that we've seen both sides, and then we'll get yours as well in the comment section. I would like to hear your input too. And I would say I tend to agree with the first post a little bit more, where it says stop telling new accounts to level Ninja before their starter. I think they kind of persuaded me a little bit more, and I tend to agree with it because they were right. Like, if for a super active player, you'll probably get your starter champion to a 6-star before you even get Ninja. And Ninja, you can start working on him at that point. So you're not really, like, you don't need to save up a bunch of resources to 6-star Ninja as soon as you get him. You might be hurting your progression for a couple days or so if you do that. Now, do I think either one is a massive mistake? No. You do get a lot of value out of your starter champion for a long time. So it's not like you got to regret 6-starring them or anything. You're not gonna look back in 6 months and be like, oh my gosh, I'd have been so much better off if I would have not 6-starred my starter. You're going to be fine 6-starring your starting champion. It's a lot of progression. You're going to use them for a long time. So, yeah, you can't really go wrong either way, but I tend to agree with the first one here. I would max your starter as soon as possible. And then when you acquire Ninja from the login reward, you start working on Ninja after that. They use different books. Like the rare is going to be cheaper to ascend. So having that 6-star champion that can help you in those potion keeps to farm the ascendancy potions for Ninja is going to be nice. And yeah, the why not max out the 6-star, fully booked, fully mastered carry, and then work on your ninja next. That seems like the route to me. But if someone like Deadwood said that it's better to max ninja, I could definitely understand the argument. And I know for sure that these people know what they're talking about as well. So like I said, there's an argument on both sides. But I don't like to be a fence sitter, so I would pick the first one. If I had to pick one argument here that I would side with, it'd be the first one, and I would recommend max your starter as soon as possible, and then after that, go ahead and work on ninja. But what say you? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Obviously, this must be a hot topic if we're seeing these discussions on Reddit. So why not let me know down below? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with the first post that says you should max your starter first always? Or do you agree with the second post that says you should definitely wait for ninja and then work on ninja as fast as possible? So yeah, anyway, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.